how do you stay motivated when trying to lose weight? Very often it goes something like this. Let me know if you can relate. You've decided to lose weight to get those extra pounds you're carrying around off your body. You start your new diet, your new workout routine, you're excited, your motivation is high. This is your time. The diet is tough, to say the least. You really miss your normal food. And the cravings get stronger and stronger until one day you give in. You feel really bad for what you did, and your motivation takes a hit. So you tell yourself you'll do better. So the next day, you're back on the diet 100%. The exercise is a whole other beast of its own. I mean, who has the energy to work out after a long day at work? So you decide to try working out in the mornings instead, before work. They say getting up early in the morning is such an amazing thing, so you give it a try. Well, that didn't last long. I mean, seriously, who wakes up at 5 a.m. and then has the energy to work out? Your motivation takes another hit, a massive one this time. Though you knew it wouldn't be easy, so you tell yourself to keep going. The days go by and you feel like you're starving yourself. You're so hungry and really crave your normal food, so when your cheat day comes along, you go all out. You didn't exactly mean to do that, though it's a matter of survival at this point. The next day, you feel really bad for eating all that food. You feel stuffed and bloated and have no energy. It's not looking good. You step on the scale to check the damage that was done, and sure enough, you've gained weight. I mean, all that work you'd put in, all those days of barely eating anything and exercising like crazy, it all just went to waste. It's like you never even tried. Your motivation takes such a big hit that it practically disappears from the face of the earth. And this is where a lot of people throw in the towel. Some people take a short break to comfort themselves and try to get their motivation back up to give it another shot, thinking this time you won't make those same mistakes. This time things will be different. You'll give it 100%. However, this time you do start out with less motivation and more doubt that you'll actually succeed. And every time you mess up or don't see the results you'd expect, your motivation drops and your doubts grow. A lot of people go through some version of this. Some people do this with several different weight loss methods. They try one and all this happens. So next time they try a different method and something similar happens. Or maybe they even stick to the diet but don't see the results anyway. And every time this happens, our motivation drops and our doubts grow. You've seen the amazing before and after pictures of other people, so you know it's possible to lose the weight. But really, at this point, how do you even stay motivated to keep moving forward? Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I usually talk about science-based tips to help you lose weight naturally and effectively without suffering in the process. And actually, that has a big impact on our motivation as well. I mean, the method you use in order to lose weight doesn't need to be as difficult and miserable of an experience as I just described. It doesn't need to leave you feeling hungry, tired, and with lots of cravings. Again, I talk about these things in other videos along with practical science-based tips. I'll link to some of them below so that you can check them out afterwards. Now, even with the best possible strategies to lose weight, it's not always going to be a walk in the park. Though knowing what to expect can make it a lot easier. There will be ups and downs, there will be challenges, you will have to put in the effort, and you will at times lose your motivation for several different reasons. So what do you do when this happens? Well, you need to understand why you're losing your motivation. Is it because it's not working? Are you doubting yourself? Or is it just that you'd rather be doing something else? There are very important distinctions between these reasons. A lot of people view weight loss as a kind of punishment that you need to go through, as if you're punishing your body for accumulating all this extra weight, or you're punishing yourself for letting it get to this point. Or maybe you just see it as a punishment because of how other people make it seem, as though starving yourself and exercising like crazy is the only way to actually lose the weight. If that's how you view it, you'll never lose the weight. Well, some people might reach their goal this way because they're so persistent in pushing through even though they feel miserable. Though even if you do lose weight this way, you'll still feel miserable because you'll have this love-hate relationship with yourself and with food. This is probably one of the main reasons people don't succeed in losing weight, and that so many that actually do lose weight gain it back again. The TV show The Biggest Loser is a great example of this, where they put the participants through extreme dieting and exercise. And they even have coaches there with them to keep them accountable. So some of them end up losing an impressive amount of weight. Though actually when 14 of the first participants of the show were followed up 6 years later, they had on average regained 70% of the weight they'd lost. Which is so sad because they really had worked so hard to lose that weight. Though I do not believe this would have happened if they had approached weight loss differently, where they didn't actually have to suffer in order to lose the weight. So the approach here is very important. Though so is the reason you're trying to lose weight as well. So let's back up a bit and ask ourselves why we want to lose weight in the first place. Because it's not only about looking our best, it's really about feeling our best. Feeling good about how you look is part of that, though it's not the whole story, or at least it shouldn't be in my opinion. When your goal is about feeling your best, it changes your motivation and how you view weight loss. It becomes all about working with your body, not against it. You're helping your body function optimally so that your body can help you feel your best. It's not a punishment, it's an opportunity to help yourself feel your very best. Of course, this needs to be reflected in the methods that you use in order to lose weight as well, because some methods can make you feel miserable and basically are punishments in a way, while others can help you feel better and better. We'll get back to that later in this video. Now I want you to dig even deeper as to why you want to lose weight. Really think about all the things you'll be able to do once you lose the weight and how you will feel, and be specific. Even imagine a day, let's say a year from now, imagine that you've lost the weight. How does it feel? What are you doing on that day that you can't do today or wouldn't do today? How will you carry yourself? Are you more confident? Writing these things down can be a great tool and help you when you don't feel as motivated, because you can go back and read it again to reimagine and refuel your motivation. Though it's not only all the amazing things that awaits you when you lose the weight that are important. I also want you to think about why it's important that you don't stay where you are right now. So again, imagine a day a year from now. Though in this case, imagine that you didn't do anything in order to lose weight. So what would your life be like? What about 5 years from now or 10 years from now? If you didn't do anything about your weight, what would your life be like? Are you okay with that? I know that this can be a tough exercise to do, though try to be specific here as well. Imagine what it would be like, and then write down every reason why it's critical that you do something about it now, and don't postpone it even a day longer. You see how this can be helpful? You both have all these amazing reasons pulling you towards your goal, as well as all these critical reasons pushing you towards your goal. That's a lot more powerful than just thinking, I want to be skinny or I want to look good. I'm exaggerating here. I'm sure you've thought about more reasons than that already. So being specific and really imagining each scenario can be very powerful. Now, no matter how motivated and pumped up you get by doing these mental exercises, and no matter how motivated you feel at the beginning of your weight loss journey, your motivation will fade at some point. Because the truth is, no one is motivated 100% of the time. No one. Even those people that seem like they do everything and it looks like they are always happy and super excited to eat this or that or work out every day or wake up at 5 a.m. Even those people have days when they have zero motivation. It's true. It may not look like it, but it's true. Though it's what you do when you have no motivation that sets you apart. Those that succeed know that they won't always be motivated, so they don't let it get to them. They know that motivation comes and goes, and it's really more like a bonus, nothing else. What matters is that you keep going, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't feel motivated. Because the real secret to motivation is that it comes around when you take action and you see progress. People think that motivation is what makes you take action and then you see results. But that's actually backwards. You take action because you've decided to work towards your goals and you have a very strong reason as to why you want to reach those goals. So you take action, which leads you to making progress towards your goals, which then fuels your motivation. I mean, who doesn't get a boost of motivation when they see that what they're doing is actually working, right? And that they're one step closer to reaching their goal. Now, sometimes it may seem as though what you're doing is not working, and as a result, your motivation takes a hard nosedive. And this is where most people give up. But as cliche as it may sound, this is what progress looks like. There will always be ups and downs. And if you give up when you're down here, you'll never make it to up here. Think about that next time you're ready to throw in the towel. Now, I get it. It's easier said than done to actually take action when everything inside you is basically telling you to not do it. Have you felt that way before? You know what you should do, though there's just something inside you that's holding you back and basically begging you not to do it. I'll get back to this shortly because there is a way to think of it that I talk about within my weight loss program and that people find very helpful, and I want to share that with you later in this video, so stay tuned for that. First though, there can be several different reasons as to why your progress may stall or even go backwards sometimes, which is of course when our motivation takes the biggest hit. Understanding why this happens and making sure that it's just temporary is important. The trick is to try to look at it objectively and try to analyze the situation rather than just looking at the number on the scale and feeling hopeless. Because even though it may seem like you're doing everything right, there's always a reason why you're not seeing results. It could, for example, be that your life is especially stressful right now. And stress, as you may know, can make it very difficult for us to lose weight due to our hormonal response to stress. I talked about this in my video on belly fat, so if you haven't watched it yet, make sure you do. I'll put the link below for you. So, if you're especially stressed, you might not be making the progress you'd expect, even if you're doing everything right, which is fine. Remember, we'd all love to lose the same amount of weight each week, though in reality, progress looks like this. Well, maybe not as exaggerated as that, though you get the point. Another reason your progress may have stalled is because you ended up eating more for some reason. Maybe you went to a party or on vacation, or maybe you're just especially emotional. I know what that's like, trust me. In this case, it's important to acknowledge what happened and simply get back on track. You don't need to punish yourself by eating especially little or going to the gym even more. You don't need to beat yourself up and tell yourself that you suck and will never lose the weight. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to get back on track. That's it. Again, if you give up when you're down here, you'll never make it to up here. And really, we're all down there at some point. The difference is whether or not you let it get to you and give up, or you acknowledge that it sucks, get back up, and keep moving forward. Again, weight loss gets easier when you know what to expect. So just like we've talked about, you can expect the motivation that you have in the beginning to fade. You can expect to hit roadblocks. Things don't go according to plan. You have to eat on the go. You ate something you shouldn't have, you had some slip-ups, you skipped some workouts. You can also expect your weight loss to stall sometimes, or for you to not lose as much weight as you expected. And there's usually a very good reason for that, so you need to find that reason. And you can expect to have some doubts creep in sometimes of whether or not you'll ever make it, of whether or not you'll actually lose this weight. Maybe you're not built for this, maybe you're not strong enough, maybe there's just something wrong with your body. Knowing that these things are common and something you can expect to happen can help a lot. Because if or when they do happen, it doesn't come as a surprise. And none of these things are any indication that things won't work out. Not at all. It's just part of the process. You're making a big change in your life for the better, and we can't just expect everything to go smoothly all the time. That's just not how life works. Right? By the way, if you're enjoying this video, I would really appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. And for lots more no BS videos on weight loss, including science-based tips, make sure you're subscribed and click that bell button. And you may find lots more weight loss tips on my Instagram profile at VikingIngun. Now, sometimes it can look as though we're not making progress with our weight loss, even though we are. And that's why it's important to track weight loss in several different ways. For example, sometimes we may lose fat even though the scale shows the same number, because our weight depends on more than just the amount of fat that we have. We may, for example, gain some muscle mass, especially if you're exercising and eating lots of protein. How much water you have in your body can also fluctuate. So a way to help us keep track of progress and to know whether or not we're still making progress even if the scale is showing us the same number is to do measurements in different areas of our body. It can be with a tape measure or a body fat caliper. It's just very important that you take the measurements in the same location every time. Another tool we can use is to take progress pictures. These are great and I really recommend doing them because it's such an amazing feeling to look back and truly see the progress you made. Though with progress pictures, it's more difficult to see the smaller week by week changes, so that's where the scale and the measuring tape or caliper comes in handy. And if you're not making progress for several weeks on any of those, you'll want to take a closer look at what you're doing to find out what's holding you back from making progress. It could be some of the things we've talked about earlier, though you'll need to take a closer look or have someone help you out to understand what's going on and how to move forward. Because really, sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes you are actually doing everything that you were supposed to be doing and still not seeing results, which means you'll need to make some tweaks moving forward. If you're having issues like that, where your weight loss has just stalled, let me know in the comments and I might make a video about that specifically. The important thing is that there is a way. I know it may feel all hopeless sometimes, though there really is a way for you to lose the weight and feel great. You just have to figure out why you're not seeing the results you'd expect. And speaking of feeling helpless, one thing that can really put a damper on our motivation is when we look ahead at all the weight we want to lose and see that there's really a long road ahead of us. I mean, it's great to set big goals for ourselves, though sometimes it can really seem as though we'll never get there. This is where it's important to keep your big goal in mind, though focus on the next steps in front of you only. Even just what you can do right now or today that's in the right direction. If you think about all the things you need to do, all the decisions you need to make and everything that you need to go through in order to reach your goal, it's easy to get overwhelmed and think you'll never get there. But if you take it one step at a time and only focus on what you can do now or in the next few days, it's not that overwhelming anymore. You can even set smaller in-between goals or milestones if you like, so that you have something that seems a lot more doable to strive for and that you can celebrate along the way. Because actually that's very important, to acknowledge how far you've already come and all the effort that you're putting into it. Now remember that we talked about taking action even when you don't feel like it, even when you're not motivated. Easier said than done, right? Well, as mentioned, there is a way to think of it that I talk about within my weight loss program and that people find very helpful, so I thought I'd share it with you. I like to think of it as our brains have two sides. One side is like a super lazy person. Let's call this side Lazy Lizzy. Lazy Lizzy just wants to chill and eat crap all day long. She just wants to take the easy way out of pretty much everything. And she's very opinionated and vocal about her opinions. The other side is like a super nerdy person. Let's call this side of their brain Nerdy Nelly. Nerdy Nelly is incredibly smart, hardworking, determined, but also quiet, meaning not very vocal about her opinions. So one side of your brain is Lazy Lizzy and the other side is Nerdy Nelly. So when you come home from a long day at work and it's time to go to the gym, who do you think will be the most vocal? Lazy Lizzy. She will tell you you're too tired to go to the gym, that it would even be counteractive to go there. You need rest. You deserve it. Nerdy Nelly, on the other hand, might be ready to get going and get that workout in. But you don't hear her because she's so quiet compared with Lazy Lizzy. To hear what Nerdy Nelly thinks, you first have to ask Lazy Lizzy to step aside, be quiet, and specifically ask Nerdy Nelly to share her opinion. And in this case, she might tell you that you're not too tired to go to the gym. You've been working all day, sure, and you are tired, sure, but you've been sitting all day long, so your muscles are not tired, your brain is tired. Your muscles actually want to move and get in some exercise, it just doesn't feel like it because your brain is telling you that you're too tired. Now, a lot of people don't even get to listen to Nerdy Nelly because they don't even realize that they're listening to Lazy Lizzy and that they specifically need to ask her to step aside for a second. So they end up not going to the gym. Listen, Lazy Lizzy is the one who will tell us that we should buy those cookies at the supermarket because you deserve them, and that you should spend the evening watching TV instead of doing chores that you might have been putting off for days or even weeks. She'll tell us to cheat when we're not supposed to, and then afterwards make us feel like we're failing the whole diet, so there's not even any point in making any effort anymore. Nerdy Nelly, on the other hand, is the one who wants you to work hard, who believes you can achieve anything you set out for as long as you work hard enough. And she believes the hard work is worth it. She's the one, if given the chance, will push you to go to the gym and will give you the extra strength to push even harder. She will give you all the reasons why not to go off track with your diet and why failure is not an option. Failure is when you give up. If you keep trying, keep finding ways around the obstacles and setbacks that you experience, then you'll never fail. Nerdy Nelly will tell you that, though only if you make room for her to speak up. You might think of this as the angel and devil on your shoulders, though the thing is, Lazy Lizzy isn't always wrong. Sometimes you do need a break. Sometimes the best thing to do is to actually do what Lazy Lizzy is telling you. Though Lazy Lizzy is always vocal, very vocal, also when her opinions are not the best ones. So really, you just need to make room for both of them and then decide where to go from there. Now, I get it. It's difficult to keep pushing forward when you don't like the food, you feel like you're starving yourself, and on top of that, you're supposed to exercise 4 times a week. As I mentioned earlier, you need to make sure that you're not making it more difficult than it needs to be. Depending on the methods you use in order to lose weight, it could be a miserable experience or one that's actually a positive one where you actually start to feel better and better. Methods that can make it into a miserable experience include things like relying on counting calories and eating a low-calorie diet, doing loads of exercise, forcing yourself to eat food you don't like, and going on diets that leave you hungry and with lots of cravings. While actually it is possible to lose weight while eating food you enjoy to satiety, and it's not even necessary to exercise or count calories. Actually, people who go about this using real food and science-based strategies often see benefits like less hunger, less cravings, better digestion, less bloating, more energy, better mood, and so on. Again, weight loss is about helping you feel your best, not punishing yourself by eating very little, eating food you don't like, and exhausting yourself with exercise. Of course, it will take effort and determination to lose the weight, though you'll want to put that effort into what's going to help you feel your best, right? Check out my previous videos for more on this, including practical science-based tips. And if you'd like a step-by-step approach, I do have a 90-day weight loss program called Slim by Science that guides you through everything. You may find more information about it at slimbyScience.com. I'll put the link below this video. Now, another thing that can be quite helpful is to try to see yourself from a friend's perspective. I mean, what would you tell your friend if they were in your shoes? It's much easier for us to give other people advice. It's like we can see their life and struggles in a totally different light than our own. We think our life is so complicated that when we look at other people's lives, it's much easier to see where they could improve on things, when they're being too hard on themselves, and when they need an extra push. Have you noticed this? I mean, we might be too quick to judge sometimes, so I'm not saying that we're always right about how we view other people's life. Though sometimes it can be a good idea to try to see our life and struggles in the same way as we would with someone else, as if we're looking at it objectively from an outside perspective. I mean, what would you tell your friend if they were in your shoes? What advice would you give? Would you tell them that it's hopeless and you'll probably never lose the weight? Probably not. Try this and see what advice you end up giving yourself. Now, I could show you a lot of examples of people who have lost the weight, even a lot of weight in a very short amount of time, though I'm sure you've seen it all before. It can be inspiring to see that it is possible, that other people have done it, so you should be able to do it too, right? Though sometimes it can even have the opposite effect, especially if you have tried to lose the weight and you're not seeing the results that you're seeing in other people's before and after pictures. Though, here's the thing, it's not about them, it's about you, your journey. And your journey will be different because you are the one going through it. It may take you longer to lose the weight or quicker. You may have different struggles than they had. And in a way, it doesn't even matter because it's not about them, it's about you. Your journey will be different because you are a different person. And that's exactly how it should be. So let me tell you one very important thing. You can do it. And I don't say that just to be nice. I mean, I don't know you, though still, I do know that you actually have what it takes. You have it in you. You may not have found the best strategies to lose the weight yet, or maybe you've faced challenges that have made you doubt that you can actually do it. But the truth is, you can do it. Just remember what we've talked about. Know your why. both what you look forward to as well as why it's important that things don't stay the same as they are now. Remember that motivation comes and goes, so don't rely on it. It's like a bonus, and it often comes around when you take action and see progress. Also remember that progress looks like this, and if you give up when you're down here, you'll never make it to up here. And when you're not making progress, there is a reason for that. Find that reason. Look at it objectively. Find a way forward and get going again. There is a way forward, you just have to find it. And if you're not sure where to look, ask someone to help you out. And when you find yourself making all sorts of excuses as to why you should eat that cookie or give up altogether, remember that it's lazy Lizzy talking. And if you just give nerdy Nelly a chance to speak up, you'll find that you actually have a very strong and powerful side of you that wants to push you to succeed. You can also try giving yourself advice as if you're giving a friend advice. This can help put things in a different perspective. Again, you can always ask other people to help you out. Right now, everyone who joins my weight loss program has my personal WhatsApp, in addition to talking to me on video calls. I really enjoy talking to all of them and helping them through their weight loss journey. And finally, of course, remember that weight loss is not a punishment. It's an opportunity to help you feel your best. So make sure you go about it with the right mindset and with the right tools to help you achieve just that. Remember, you can do this. You're tougher than you think. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like some specific tips on how to lose weight while eating to satiety, you'll want to check out this video where I share 3 practical tips you can start implementing today. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate your support, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.